Hi everyone, this is Arcadius and welcome back to Naval. Today we'll be going over the very first Japanese aircraft carrier in the game, this being Hosho. Now first, before we go over her, let's just take a look at the line itself. So we go from Hosho. You have the option of doing or buying and purchasing Shoho, but it's not required. You can go from Hosho straight to Roiho, then you have Hiryu, Shikaku, Taiho, and lastly Shinano. Now, a couple of these ships we already have done similar ships. So, for example, Shoho is quite similar to Zoiho, and then Shinano is obviously almost exactly the same as Asano. So, what does this line present? Well, for the most part, they have really fast carriers. The only one that's not really fast is Shinano. You also have good offensive aircraft. So, torpedo bombers specifically are really good on this ship, or these carriers. Dive bombers are okay. They're not the best usually, but they're also pretty good as a follow-up. So you start a flooding with the torpedo bomber, and then you set a fire with the dive bomber. Fighters you're going to actually struggle quite a bit with, as well as anti-aircraft defense. Your main, I guess you could say, defensive capabilities are your speed and concealment. Everything else, like your armor, your AA, your secondaries, are all pretty trash. Your AA can be okay if you buff it. Like, it's not always going to be the best. Like, you're not going to have like midway or Malta levels, but it's still going to be pretty decent. But always somewhat overpowered, underpowered. But yeah, very good strike aircraft, but everything else is kind of meh. The fighters are not always going to be the best, but if you group them together and use them all instead of separately, then you have somewhat better success. So let's start with Hosho. So let's start off with, we have upgraded of 31,800 health, only about 20 millimeters of armor, so pretty much nothing. She can be citadel with high explosive. So yeah, armor, not so much. Let's see, you have 24 aircraft maximum, so pretty small number. You go 25 knots, and you have only one layout for aircraft. You have one fighter squadron of 4 aircraft and 2 torpedo bomber squadrons of 4 aircraft each. And your fighters, here's your stats, and then torpedo bombers, your stats as well. Not too exciting. Secondary guns, you do have 4. You have 2 in the fore, and then you have 2 in midships, and not really any aft. But you don't really want to be getting anywhere close to be in secondary range with a ship at all. You just want to stay at range and use your torpedo bombers, and well, you only have torpedo bombers on the ship, to do as much damage as possible. The fun thing about low tier carriers, and this is for all branches, is that the ships you go against don't really have any strong anti-aircraft defenses. So up until tier 6, you have pretty much free range of just going all out on enemy ships. I have said this multiple times before, and I will keep repeating it throughout the next few weeks. I'm not a carrier main. So if I have some bad drops, or if I just don't pay attention to all my squadrons, it's because I'm not good at it. I'm trying to get better. I'm really decent with British carriers, and I'm excited for when we get there. But for right now, we'll just see what we can do. So let's toss one again and see what. Oh, actually, we didn't even look at AA defense. You have 19 at 3.3 kilometers, so not much at all. All right, so now let's toss into a game and see what we can do. All right, and here we have ourselves a game. And honestly, this is not a very good game for me. There's only one carrier, one battleship, 4 cruisers, and then a bunch of destroyers. When it comes to shooting destroyers in the carrier, I am the absolute worst. So we're going to have a lot of misdrops. Low tier carriers are really good at getting farming damage on battleships. So I was hoping for more battleships, but we'll see what we can do in this game. Okay, so we're going to send our torpedo bomber squadrons out here. I'm going to wait for them to launch and then launch our fighter because we want our torpedo bombers out first. Oh, there's the Kaiser already. Wow, this is a pretty small map, actually. Okay, so where do we want our carrier to go? We're going to go right there. Alright, so we only have one battleship. It does actually have pretty decent AA for a battleship at this tier, but considering there's only one, I'm not too worried about it. This is a very interesting map to have a carrier on. I don't think I've actually ever played this map. So hopefully the team can take care of... Nope, I don't want that. The destroyers for me. While I focus on the larger targets such as the cruisers, battleship, and carrier. I'm trying to... There we go. Fighter can go after here. And then we have a couple fighters annoying us over here, but we're not too worried about that. Alright, so we're dropping our torpedoes on the Kaiser. We're trying to get away from this fighter, catapult fighter. But it looks like we're having trouble shooting it down. It's only one plane, guys. Come on, let's go. And we're actually losing. Maybe, well, there's two Furitakas. That probably is why. We're going to end up losing this squadron. That's the funny part. One thing that's annoying about fighters is that once they get into a dogfight with other fighters, doesn't matter if they're catapult fighter or just from the carrier, they cannot leave that battle until either they win, they're all shot down, or they run out of ammo. Which is really, really annoying sometimes. Alright, so we already lost one entire fighter squadron group, and we're having a couple destroyers come towards us. And autopilot is not wanting to turn to the right for whatever reason. I really don't know why that is. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. But I was gonna try... Yep, see, we still can't move. So we're trying to keep the island between us and these destroyers here. And we're actually losing this game. So let's see if we can try and torpedo some destroyers. Actually, we're gonna go from this side. We do have to have quite a bit of lead, I feel. Yeah, see, I'm not even going to be anywhere close to these destroyers. Well, I might get that Minikaze. And then, there we go, we got one. We'll try not to torpedo ourselves here. What's our fighter doing? Fighter's not doing anything. Let's have it do something. Go after these aircraft here. Trying not to torpedo myself. There we go. Alright. Let's see how our fighter's doing. I didn't want to do that. If you double tap on the aircraft thing down at the bottom left, bottom right, you can actually zoom right to the squadron itself. So for example, I don't really want my fighters near this Furitaka, so we're going to go over here. Of course, those smoked up, so let's actually go over... Let's go attack the Kaiser again. It looks like she may go down soon. I'm going to only use one torpedo squadron because that's all it needs to sink Kaiser. And then we're going to see if we can get some damage on this Furitaka, which has defensive AA activated. That's why the torpedo spread is so wide. Fighters, I need you to go after torpedo bombers. And only one hit on Furitaka, but it's better than nothing. There's Yubari. Not too worried about her, honestly. Might even try and sink her with secondaries for fun. Might have our next torpedo squadron come out here in a moment. We're still actually pretty losing this hardcore. So I think I should probably... I need to focus on taking out everything else. And I don't know if I should take out the carrier first or not, because that's the only one that can really damage me. As I said, I'm sorry. Nope. So let's finish off this Yubari here. And we can also take advantage of the Valkyrie getting beached here. Alright, let's see if we can get any torpedo hits on her. Actually, that's not a good angle. Let's try this. I do try and do the manual drops, so I have more control instead of the auto drops. It doesn't always work, though. Alright, so we're just going to go like this, because I feel like I can at least nail one of these two destroyers at that kind of an angle. Fighters were all shot down. These will be our last fighters that we have. We do not have any spare aircraft. So we only have two now. We got one destroyer. We got the Valkyrie. Looks like we missed the Clemson. So let's see if we can nail this other Valkyrie, which I'm not quite sure what it's doing. Okay, it was reversing the entire time. Interesting. So now it's moving forward, and will now be a lot harder to hit. But we can try. There's the Clemson. Ooh, can we hit her? Yeah, we got her. Awesome. We still have a Furitaka. Let's see if we can go... Well, there's also the Clemson over here. Let me see if we can spot her. Let's head down this way. Actually, let's just finish off the Furitaka. That should do her in. That was actually pretty wide. Oh, we still got it. Awesome. Okay, so let's see what we can do against this carrier. Though Clemson should be up soon. Alright, so I don't really want to be torpedoed here, because they're coming in at me. We got one hit on the Hosho. Alright, let's see what else we can do. We're still trying to knock down these aircraft. Alright, so we dodged. Pretty good. We'll bring our fighters back over here, as well as our torpedo bombers. There's the Clemson. And we got one hit and a flooding. I'll take it. Alright, so back our fighters up a bit so we get out of AA range of the carrier, even though it doesn't really have much. The one thing I do like about this game versus World of Warships carriers now after the remake or rework is that you only have so many aircraft. And I feel like that is an important part that they're missing out in other games. If you only have 24 aircraft, such as in Hosho, you should only have 24 aircraft. Awesome, so we've got Hosho. Let's send all our aircraft up here. Alright, let's see if we can find this destroyer. Found her. Next part is, let's see if we can hit her. Clemson doesn't have pretty much like any anti-aircraft defense, so I can just have my fighters hover over her for an extended amount of time without actually worrying about them being shot down. So let's see, maybe she'll ground again. Okay, so we're trying to get all our squadrons out here. And well, that one's, yeah, that one was trash, but it looks like she's gonna hopefully run aground again. There we go, awesome. So now we can actually hit her. We are in the cap. Alright, so let's see what this can do. I think that looks pretty good. Awesome. Oh, we were just about to cap too. Alright, oh well. So, maybe not the best gameplay ever. I could have had a lot better shots at some points, but I did get 97,000 damage, 8 ships sunk, 17 torpedo hits, 17 aircraft shot down, 8 floodings, 4 secondary hits for over 5,000 base XP. Yeah, secondaries didn't do anything, so literally all of that came from torpedoes. and they automatically repaired all flooding, so no flooding damage and no dive bombers to cause fires. So yeah, this ship can be pretty good. I find that with all carriers, suffer attacking destroyers. So it's not just anything with this ship in particular. It's just I struggle with that. Regardless, though, she can be pretty useful. You do have to remember you only have so many aircraft, so don't go into areas with a lot of ships because even if they may not have a lot of AA individually, combined, it can be pretty decent. As you could see, those two Furutakas and that Kaiser were knocking down quite a few of my aircraft. So with that, I will wrap up today's video. If you liked the video, make sure you like and subscribe, and join me tomorrow while we go over Shoho. Thank you and take care.